Then for the customization, a little bit technical, how we want to implement it. Of course, we simply want to reuse our project as a template, so we just build in a lookup reference, project to project. And then we also see we have the project task to the project as a link. This will be important later when I explain how to add more customizations, just that you saw the basic overview how we want to implement it in the next steps. Then again, also we implemented a flag that we can mark our projects and project templates just to create different views, filtered views, later to reuse it in the sitemap, in the forms, and add some business logic to show hide some fields if necessary. Okay, as mentioned, just the overview how we can define different views. Based on the flag we introduced, we built views for normal projects with all their status settings, and we built new views for our project templates. Just update the existing views to project views, make a copy with save as, and then introduce the template flag. It's easier to rebuild all the views from scratch. And also at the end, it's important that you decide on your own logic. Do you want to prevent the users to only use project templates as a template, or do you also want to provide the functionality to reuse existing projects as a template? Then you need to define the lookup filtered views on your forms when you create the new projects. Coming to the customizations, what we are doing always at our own and on the customer side, Microsoft provides two special views to give the functionality to also copy custom fields, because how out of the box copy project functionality should know about our custom fields. These views are the way to go. Simply put in all your custom fields on the project entity and project task entity to these special views, and they will be used in the copy project functionality. Same goes for the out-of-the-box copy projects in the system. So when you have extended your project or the project task, keep in mind to add these fields also to these views. Here's a small example what I meant with some business logic. Of course, we have to add the project template as a lookup to the project form. And then we also added our flag to the form, add a small business rule, but this I will show later. Then you can provide the lookup filtered views, set some disable logic, just as you like. Here in the example, as we see, when it's a template, do nothing. When it's no template, hide the project template lookup. Easy as that. And keep in mind that you also add it to the quick create form. This is often a point you might forget, but also in the sales when you create a quote line, simply put the template functionality also to the quick create. Then you can also reuse the functionality directly there when you create a project from, coming from the sales side of this implementation. Okay, as I mentioned at the beginning, I want to show a way how we can introduce it that every consultant can do it on their own. And we are showing the ways like providing it with cloud flows. The alias Power Automate or simply flows. In the logic, as you see, the flow is very that easy. We just have two steps. The first step is the trigger. The trigger is simply an onCreate trigger on the project. And with a filter condition, it should only trigger when the project template was set. Otherwise, it makes no sense. When I do not set a template, I do not use one. And then we simply call the out-of-the-box copy project functionality with the parameters as explained earlier in the session. I know the screen is a little bit small, so I made a zoom in and also created a better format setting. On the left side, for the technical pros, we see how it looks like when we export the flow and extract it and watch the plain JSON file. So this one you can use to copy paste and create your flow on the easy way. On the right side, I made the same explanation and you also see it. You have the filter condition. It's on create of a project. I let it run as modifying user. So the calling user will do it. So he will also get the owner of it. This logic depends how you want to do it. And then we have, this is important, it's a bound action in the flows because it's a link to the project entity. Then we call the project entity and you see it msdyn underscore copy project v3. And with the help of a trim operation, you can also see it on the left side, how to utilize it. You can get rid of the huge display of every entity. Normally, if you use the flows and try utilize actions, the system will provide every field of the entity and you need to put in the data there. This will also work, I show in the next slide, so don't be afraid. You do not need to know anything about functions, JSON or something. This is just when you want to have it on a very small screen, and as you see, the implementation is very small. So it's very, very handy to do when you know how to do it. This would be the overview when you don't know how to use these JSON and function stuff in the system. Simply open the bound action, search in the system for your copy project v3, and then you will see a huge bunch of fields. Just keep in mind the row ID. This is the target project, so the new one. What was your trigger? So just get the GUID from the triggering object. So body GUID from your trigger. And then you simply use Control F to find the so-called project ID. This is also highlighted on the right side. You see it msdyn underscore project, msdyn underscore project ID. This is the source. There you simply provide the project template. Also again, body, the trigger body project template GUID, put it in there and that's it. And then at the very bottom of the page, you can see the 2 parameter settings as options. As we see, we have clear teams and assignments, or replace named resource, choose one as yes, and the implementation is done. Easy as that. Now, just to keep in mind, the copy project will exactly do what it's supposed to do. So it will create a one-to-one copy from your project. So just imagine today we have the 17th, I create the template and next year I'm using it. So it will use all the starting dates from today. This may be what you want to do, but yeah, normally it's not what you want to do. Also, as I said, it will handle the project properties, also your custom fields when you edit them to the views. The work breakdown structure is handled. As we see in the sample, we have all the tasks, we have the dependencies, we get all the project team members, we get all the estimates, and the estimates, as we know from the wave 2, are splitted into expense and materials. So all is handled by the copy project functionality out of the box. And now when you want to reschedule your project, you simply go to the project main form. On the right side, you will find a field called estimated start in the time schedule, and there you will set the new desired start date, and the background engine will start and shift all your tasks and elements dependent on your settings in the project.